And then the target was at the market. So leaving the students like that, anything could happen. So the best thing that could happen, so what happened is, well, I can't tell us at now. Because what happened was this. Captain Keita, the former CEO of 2 Infantry Battalion, came with soldiers in the truck. I don't know actually the number of soldiers he came with. That would have been easier if I had my my diary with me, the 2000 diary with me, because all operations which happened during that period was recorded in that book. But I lost that book. Yes, but Keita came with some, I think a platoon plus strength.
Did you see any of the students beaten during that period?
No.
Did you see any of the students arrested?
I saw students being cut from the bush, trying to escape, and being brought to the basket pitch.
Did you see anybody arrested? Anybody whose liberty at that point was seized?
Yeah, their liberty to demonstrate, to move around was seized because they were being placed at the basket pitch lawn where... Okay.
From the basketball pitch, were any of them taken to Janjambure prison?
No. Because what happened is that, at that place, the CEO gave, his statement. He advised them. After giving that such statement, I also came and advised. Then from there, we went out from there, had our breakfast. From the breakfast area, I was tasked again by the CEO to proceed to Bansang. So what happened in Janjambure, I may not be, opportune to know about that.
Or are you trying to avoid any knowledge of the beatings, any knowledge of the tortures, any knowledge of these unlawful detentions in Janjambure?
No.
All right, let me read out something for you and ask you to respond. This is a statement we received from one Alaji Seidikan, who now lives in the United Kingdom. And I will read out paragraphs from his statement, and then I'll ask you questions. This is what he had to say. On 11th April, in the early hours of the morning, soldiers entered into the campus and some hid themselves in the flowers to ambush us. When the camp was quiet, they started to enter our dormitory building, capturing and beating us to the old basketball pitch. Witness is lying?
Could be correct. He could be lying. He could be correct. He could be lying. Reason why I'm saying this, probably where he was at, I wasn't at that area. But those soldiers directly in front of me, I have put this thing categorically clear to them. Nobody should slap anybody. Nobody should beat anybody. Your duty is to get them, take them to the basket pitch, ball pitch.
Wouldn't it be obvious,
yes,
Mr. Camara, if some of these students were beaten from their dormitories and brought to the basketball pitch, wouldn't it be obvious to you that they had been beaten?
No, you may not know why. The reasons are like this. Check the length of Amtich High School. From Kabukunda to Nyanikunda.
Those things wouldn't mean much to me.
Yeah, no, what I'm saying here, a distance of almost 500 to 600 meters, or even more. If you are at one point, you will not be able to see a distance of 300 beyond.
I'm not suggesting
Yes.
that you would have seen.
Okay.
I'm saying that by the time they arrived at the basketball pitch, it may be obvious to you that these people were beaten just by their looks and their comportment.
It could be. That's what I'm saying. I say he could be correct. He could be lying.
Let us proceed with
Yes.
this statement. This witness went on to say that upon understanding the presence of the military in the campus, I tried to sneak out, jumping the fence into the hostel and another fence behind the school into town. I managed to escape arrest at that particular time and went to my guardian. She was in a worried mood, but happy to see me and checked if I was okay, as well as giving me food and drink. Later, when I decided to go back to campus, I intended to go via the back fence as before. But before I could get close to the fence, I saw soldiers coming towards me from behind the trees. That is probably correct, isn't it?
Yes.
In view of how you were organized. Correct?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
They stopped me and asked where I was from and where I was going, to which I replied that my brother was in the campus. I wanted to go see him, to see if he was okay. I said that I had lost my way, and that's why I was around the rear area. One of the prison officers who was with the soldiers called out my nickname and said, "You are lying. You are amongst the ringleaders." And before I could say or do anything, I received the heaviest slap to my face before they started to badly torture me. So the beating of students was in fact routine during this process.
Yeah, it could be correct. That's what I'm saying. I say it could be correct.
And these are soldiers who were under your authority.
No.
Where did they come from?
I think I've made that primary, explanation with regards to the composition of persons.
Now, Captain Keita came around 2 a.m. That's
Yes.
what you said. I think we're talking about before 2 a.m.
No, you're talking about the early hours of the morning. Look at the statement itself. It's about the early hours of the morning. So this was dawn operations. What he's explaining here is on the 11th. Captain Keita joined us on the 11th, but this was around 2 a.m., between 1, 2 a.m. This operation happened around 5 towards 6 a.m.
But nonetheless,
Yes.
You were there with Captain Keita at this time.
Yes.
Even though he was your superior officer, you were still the commanding officer of the men on the ground.
No, I will not take that.
All right. We would address the issue of command responsibility
That's
later, or who had authority. Let's first accept the facts that students were being arrested and beaten and
Been moved to the basket pitch area.
call it marshaled,
Yeah.
call it corralled,
Okay.
call it gathered. They were being beaten in the process.
Yes, it could be correct.
It is correct.
Okay.
Thank you. And the witness went on to say, I could hear one of the soldiers saying, "We are going to kill you here. Some of your fellow students died in the combos." While they were beating me, they noticed some juju on my waist and accused me of putting jujus on them, which made them continue to beat me even harder until I was begging them to stop and allow me to pray 2 rakas. I was, I'm sorry, I had to laugh. I can just imagine the scenery. Terrible as it is, it's funny. And he said, I was shouting the name of God. Allah is great, in case they killed me. One of them immediately stopped beating me and ordered me to sit on, and before asking, I was shouting that and why I wanted to pray to Raka. I explained that I genuinely believed I was going to be beaten to death by them and was going to die that day. He told me to get up and escorted me to the old basketball pitch where some of my colleagues were seated. It looks very credible, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's possible.
He handed me over to some of the soldiers for the responsible for the captives there, and I received another fresh, not been beaten before. So at the basketball pitch where you were all gathered, students were being beaten there.
You see, probably it will be difficult for you to understand here. I am saying those soldiers or prison officers, in fact, the soldiers that I was moving with, I kept on, advising them that you don't have the authority to beat or slap anybody. But that one I have.
Nonetheless.
So if they were beaten, I will accept that they were beaten. According to his statement, that's what he have said.
Mr. Camara,
yeah.
Let's just speak the truth. It's only the truth that shall set you.
That's true.
Let's just speak the truth. If you try to insulate yourself from what happened, the truth would come out.
Exactly.
So let's just speak the truth. Your men were beating the students at Amity. That's the truth, isn't it?
No.
Well,
why am I saying, when you say my men, I understand that to be the soldiers that I moved with from Kudang. You understand? So that's the direction.
All right, let's do it.
Where I'm taking
let's do it this way. Your soldiers were at the basketball pitch, correct?
Exactly.
Correct? Your soldiers were also doing this double patrol you were talking about, correct?
Yes.
And your soldiers were also hidden in the shrubs, waiting for the students, laying ambushes for them, correct?
Soldiers who were all mixed up together, because the soldiers from 2 Infantry Battalion, which is Farafenye, and then the prison officers, together with my soldiers, were used for that operations.
Okay, so they were all acting together in tandem as a unit?
Yes.
So what was done by the soldiers, they were all doing it together. It was not like one segment doing this and another segment doing that. They were all acting together as one unit.
If you take it in that way, operational, yes.
No, you have to answer the question. Were they acting together as one unit or not?
For that operations, they were acting together as a group.
When students are captured by some soldiers, they are brought to the basketball pitch and being guarded by a group of soldiers, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And the two were all acting together. Those who captured and those who guarded were all acting together, correct?
Yes, they were all in the same theater.
And they were all working under your command, and you were subordinate to Captain Keita at the time, correct?
They were not all working under my command. They were working on the operational orders that was given to them.
And who was to implement those operational orders?
It was the men.
No. You were to supervise implementation of those operation orders, correct?
Yes.
Exactly. So the men were acting.
We both supervise it. It's not me. We were moving like this. I said Captain Keita, myself, we were all part of the operations. We all moved together.
Yes, but Captain Keita would order you and you order the men.
No, not this time.
Regardless of whether that was the case, you still had command authority over those men, didn't you?
Over my men, yes, that's correct. Over my men.
Yes, and your men were acting in tandem with the other men by arresting students and bringing them to the basketball court.
Correct.
And your men also participated in guarding those who were brought there, correct?
Correct.
And it is those men who were there, those who were capturing the students, are the ones who were beating the students, correct?
Yeah, I said that could be possible because that is the statement of the witness that you are reading, that he was being cut, he was being beaten, he was being tortured, he was being moved from where he was caught.
By a group of soldiers that also included your men.
Okay, acknowledge.
So you accept your men were beating and torturing students.
That one, I don't want to come there.
Well, so you would want to accept that it is the other group that was
no, I will not say the other group.
And not your group.
No, I will not say. I don't want to apportion blame to anybody with regards to this. I want to.
Are you embarrassed by the fact that your men were in fact torturing students?
No.
Not embarrassed by it?
No, I am not. I am not embarrassed in a sense that my men were instructed, we were informed, they were ordered not to beat anybody.
Well, you may just be disappointed that your men
if it has happened, I'm disappointed.
They ignored your orders.
Yes, if it had happened, I'm disappointed.
Mr. Camara, are you just keeping a blind eye to what has happened and just stay in denial?
No.
In fact,
anything that happened in my presence, I will say here. I am not a type that will come and then say something which
during
different.
This operation, where were you stationed? Where did you stay during this operation? Were you at the basketball court?
No.
Where were you?
I was moving directly behind the men who were, coming the soldiers out from that end. From, I think, Salum Nyalekunda, general area. That was the area.
Did you go to the basketball court?
Yes, I went there.
And how long did you stay there?
I spent almost 10, 15 to 20 minutes.
And you did not see any...
At that point, no.
Any kid showing signs of having been beaten?
No.
And when you were between those kundas walking around, you did not see anybody being beaten?
No.
This is, I wouldn't know about anybody being beaten.
No, if people are beaten, I'll say they were beaten in my presence.
Okay, let us talk about another incident of beating. You went back to Birkamaba, didn't you?
Yes.
Was anybody beaten there in your presence?
I saw people being beaten.
Did you do anything to stop it?
Yes.
What did you do?
I told the soldiers to stop beating.
That is not the story we received. The story we received is that these students were made to lie on the road and your men were trampling upon them.
That is a lie.
Well, you now acknowledge that they were beaten?
Yes.
I asked you before.
That?
Whether people were beaten and tortured. I asked you in the room, you said no.
Where? At Brikamba. No, you asked about Janjambure. The operation is like this.
No,
maybe I did not get you properly.
I asked whether students were beaten and tortured by your men.
No, not my men. I told you not my men.
Okay. And you denied that?
Yes.
Mr. Camara, don't make life difficult or complicated unnecessarily.
Yes.
Just speak the truth. Students were tortured, beaten at Janjambure, and you know about that.
I said for Janjambure, I don't know anything about that with regards to their being beaten or tortured. What happened is that when we brought them to the basket pitch, a statement was made by the CEO. I also advised the students with regards to, destruction of the public properties. Thereafter, I was ordered to go to Bansang. So from Bansang, I was in Bansang, like you were taking me to Brikamba, events which happened at Brikamba. But before in Brikamba, I went to Bansang first.
That may all be true. What I am trying to establish here
is about the torture.
Is that the students were arrested, beaten, tortured by soldiers, and their commanders were aware of it.
Yeah, I think this is where we are going to differ. We are going to differ in a sense that um, operationally, Kudang was nearer to these areas, that is Brikamaba, Bansang, Janjambre. But when you come to the ground, what was happening was then there are people who were dropped at Brikamaba before our occupation of Brikamaba in the first place.
We're going to something else different.
Yes.
And we would come to that particular issue. What I want to establish is that in spite of your denials, your men on the ground were arresting and beating students. That is a fact.
That is not, it's not correct.
The students were not beaten.
My men did not arrest any student.
They only arrested and brought them.
Yes.
So it is
Which
this,
I've observed.
it is the other soldiers who beat them.
Yes, it could be.
So your guys were the holy GNA soldiers, and the other guys were the bad ones.
No. That is not correct.
Okay.
What happened is
Let
that,
me rephrase it.
what
Let me
happened-
rephrase. Let me
Okay.
rephrase. Your guys were the law-abiding GNA soldiers, but the other guys were the bad ones.
Well, I don't want to put it in that way because this is a serious matter, and I think it is important that we talk about issues which are, relevant to the point. What happened? I led few personnel, and then command and control was very easy for me because I'm centrally positioned within them, and I've given instructions that nobody should slap, nobody should beat, nobody should shoot at anyone. This was what I've given. That in an event that somebody,
Go ahead.
that in an event that somebody should use his firearm against a student, you fire that person, you will be fired at. That was short and clear. So
Let's play by your rules. Let's deal with issues that are relevant to the matter we are discussing, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now let's not talk about use of firearms. You are expanding the topic. We haven't come to that yet. Now we are limiting ourselves to students being arrested and beaten.
Yes.
Correct? You said earlier that you were centrally positioned among your men.
Those that I came with from Kudang.
They went to the different kundas arresting students, correct?
For the operations at Amtich.
Yes.
Yes.
They went to the dormitories and brought out students, correct?
Yes.
They hid in the shrubs and ambushed students who were trying to run away, correct?
Yes.
They went all the way to the boundaries with the prisons and arrested students, correct?
Today?
Closer to the prison area and arrested students, correct?
Correct.
They in fact went to the town and arrested students and brought them back.
No.
So your men were limited to inside Armitage.
No, I have stated, I think I've laid that foundation from the very beginning, that when we arrived before the operation at...
Just answer the question. Did your soldiers go to the town and arrested students and brought them into Armitage?
No, I can't remember that.
Okay. But do you realize that in all the other points I have mentioned, students arrested there were beaten and brought to the basketball court?
Yeah, I think you have made that to me. I said, if that had happened, I did not know about that. I'm just hearing from you that soldiers caught students who were on the move to escape from the school campus, and then they were being brought into the basketball pitch and being beaten.
The only difference between your testimony and what I read out here is the issue of the beating.
Yes.
All right? So, and the reason for the difference is because you are denying responsibility for the beating of these people.
No, I think if I have ordered for a beating of any person.
I did not suggest
Yes.
that you ordered the beating.
Yeah, I'm coming, sir. If I have ordered for the beating of any person, I would have, taken up that responsibility of giving that orders. If I have seen also on the ground, I would have also taken that responsibility of seeing that thing happen in my presence. But you are putting this to me that because soldiers were there, that because students were claiming that they were beaten, so I have to acknowledge that these students who claim that they were beaten and tortured, have seen that happen, and I have to accept that it had happened.
No, no, no. I want you to accept the truth
Yes.
that your soldiers were beating
students. I said if they had beaten them, it's not to my knowledge. But I would have been disappointed if they had done so, because that was not the instructions.
But what is very unlikely is that you would be in all these places and you would not even see one single student beaten. That is very unlikely.
To you, if I had seen one, I would have stopped it on the spot.
Okay, now
that's me anyway.
Now let's go to this issue of Bir Camara. We have a witness statement here. This person is called Suleiman Mendy.
Okay.
And I will read out from his statement. He said, minutes later, I saw a group of students led by a classmate of ours, Musa Balde, coming towards the police station. I was able to see them through the window, and none of them was armed. As they approached the station, my brother, PJ Mendy, started firing at them with rubber bullets. At one instance, I wailed and told him in the Manjago language, please don't shoot them, and he replied, it was fake bullets. And I heard the students clearly shouting fake bullets. Then I saw some of them picking stones at the nearby compound opposite the police station. They started pelting stones at the police station. The premises became very noisy, and I could hear gunshots as well. Jerinjai was drunk. He was continuously drinking Pest's alcohol and was firing his gun. At one point, I noticed Jerry about to fire his machine gun, but Nadinding, the SO, forcibly stopped him. I saw him wrestle Jerinjai until they both fell on the tar road. Lieutenant Wassa Camara, that would be you. The Kudang camp commander, that's definitely you, came to the police station. That's true also. Did you go to the police station?
Yes.
As he was approaching the police station, I heard the soldiers wailing, sir, they want to kill us. Sir, they want to kill us. I wondered how they will be killed by unarmed peoples. When he, Wassa Camara, saw me, he said to me, I learned that you are the leader. If you are brave, come out and fight me. True or false? Okay. He continued, I ignored him and didn't utter a word. And again, I saw some students forced to lie on the tar road, and the soldiers walked on them with their boots. True?
I did not see that happen.
Okay. What did you see?
Okay. Please allow me to go through your statement. Your witness is saying PJ Mendy. I don't know which PJ Mendy he's referring to.
Paul Mendy?
Paul Mendy. Is it Per Mendy or Paul Mendy?
Per Mendy? Which is correct? He just said PJ Mendy.
PJ Mendy. The PJ Mendy we know as an officer, if that is who he's referring to, was not at 2 Infantry Battalion. He wasn't at Kudang. he wasn't at Basse 2. I think he need to verify his information with regards to the name and actual person he's talking about.
You are mistaken.
Yes.
One of the soldiers who went there, in his statement, said here quite clearly, when we reached this station, myself and the late Paul J. Mendy used our blank rounds and shot. So there was a PJ Mendy.
That's what I'm saying. I said if he's an officer, you know, there's a difference between officer and soldier. So I am saying if that PJ Mendy is an officer, that officer, PJ that I know, wasn't at 2 Infantry Battalion then, and he was not at Kudan.
He never said that the person was an officer.
Okay.
He just said a PJ Mendy was there.
Okay.
And that is confirmed by another witness.
Okay. So first, the Grey that he's talking, whom I know to be Green Jai, Jai was, you know, part of 2 Infantry Battalion. He came from Frafenye with, you know, 4 other personnels. Their group were 5 who were dropped in there at night by the CO when he was coming to join me at Janjambre. So operational wise, what had happened in that morning at Brikamaba, I did not know anything about that. You know, I was at Bansang when the information or events which were happening at that time in Brikamaba, I was informed at this place, Bansang, by first class CID, Dabo.
Mr. Chair, it's 11:30. Perhaps we just take a short break and continue with the witness after the short break.
Very much, and thank you very much.
Camara.
Major Wassa Cisse. We are going to conduct another Kulio this morning. Time is obviously
Okay.
We will come back and
Okay.
take a 30-minute break.